In the past year, I've helped hundreds of creators in my Discord community blow up, some of whom have blown up literally from 150 to like 800,000 followers across platforms, all because I gave them brutally honest advice on what is missing from their content. So I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek at what it looks like to actually practically fix your hooks, storytelling, niche inside your content. So you can sit back, absorb the knowledge, because I guarantee you're not gonna find any of this kind of advice anywhere else on personal branding online. Now I'm gonna leave timestamps here on all the different questions that people ask so you can find the content review that actually applies to your situation. Ray, you've been trying to make the day in the life videos, but they get no traction. The video is about 30 seconds. Should you add a voiceover? Let's see.
Guys, you can't believe—
I think we've talked about it before, Ray, but I think the main thing here that I noticed immediately is that there's just like no context on who you are. If I know anything about the day in the life videos that work really well, if I think of somebody literally who's built their entire career off of day in the life content, this guy, Jack's Day in the Life, they get like millions of views. So how does he actually do it? My Friday as a 25-year-old in New York City. So if you think of words that capture people's attention, keywords that make people relate, signal to things that people might relate to, it's like his age, where he lives. I think it was so quick, I actually missed it. Yeah, it was like 1 second, I actually missed it. I would put it just right here at the top of the screen. Generally with text hooks, you want to keep it on the screen for like 5 to 10 seconds is my rule of thumb, just so people actually have enough time to read it. And I would say like, dude, I know Ray, you're like 15 or 16, like the age card with day in the life is the easiest way to just get people to like instantly relate or have some sort of context on you. So like day in the life of a 15-year-old future stand-up comedian, or like day in the life of a 15-year-old high schooler. I guess this video is more so about comedy. Honestly, I don't think this is a bad text hook either. I think generally it is just the fact that it's so quick that it comes and goes so quickly. I pretty much missed it while I was watching the video. But yeah, other than that, I actually like this format a lot. I like the silent, like I don't think music actually would help here. I actually like the silent. It feels more authentic. I do want to say, Ray, because I've been reviewing your videos for the past couple of weeks, they are improving. And I do want to say, like, that's actually a really good thing. So I would not view it as like, it's just like completely flopping. I think these small improvements will help. Hello, you're satisfied with the video and you feel like you learned a better sense of direction for the next one. You don't know if the middle is too long though. So you'd like thoughts on this, especially the captions. If you want to give like any more context on like specifically what I should be paying attention to in the middle.
So like this video is basically like a date. I was in a call with Sam yesterday. He said like the beginning and outro was good, but like the middle, I had nothing there. So I just put like the clips that I recorded into the middle, but it's like 2 scenes. I don't know if like that's too much.
Gotcha. Okay, let's take a look.
I asked 100 girls from my following list out on a date, and Diana was one of the girls that I asked out. At first, she didn't know my intentions, so I started being more bold. And let's just say I got initiated into a frat. However, she did give me a date, so maybe I could get out the friend zone. I'm so nervous right now. I forgot to pick up my date.
Ooh, if it's a date, shouldn't you be like taking out the girl?
When I asked you out, you seemed really against it.
I wanted to make sure you didn't.
This is fire. This is sick.
No, yeah, thank you. I asked Prosper, he told me I should use this line because you told him to use it, that I'm so nervous right now.
Yes, so if there's one takeaway from Prosper's, it's very quick. With a lot of videos, it's like, what is the reason why somebody will get hooked in the first couple seconds? I think you recognized it too, and you did a very good job. What is the reason, you would say?
I feel like this is like asking out 100 girls is like crazy, like it's like captivating, you know? And then I feel like the Rocky music also is gonna attract their attention.
I think also the fact that you showed it happened is proof. So now I, as a viewer, am waiting for the date. Every second that passes here, I'm gonna draw a little retention graph. Every second that passes, let's say each increment is 5 seconds. You kind of hooked me in here, right? Let's just say that hooked me in. And now every second that you don't show this thing, which is the date, which is what I'm like waiting for. It's like, yo, what's gonna happen on the date? All these questions of curiosities, like, is it gonna go well? Are they gonna like, like go on another date? Is he gonna completely fumble? What's gonna happen, right? And that's the cool part. But every second that the date is not being showed, you're losing retention. Versus if you can actually then follow up with the next thing that the viewer wants, which is to see the date, the sooner the better is what I'm basically trying to say. So Prosper, I know, gets right into the date. Like if you look at Prosper's original boyfriend maxing content, I'll even pull it up. It's like the number of seconds to get to the date I guarantee it's probably less than 15. Less than 15 and he's on the date. So the longer that you delay that, the more people are going to scroll off, your watch time's going to go down, and then it's not going to do as well. I think if you were to put a number to this, if you can get into the date footage and just start showing what happens on the date within the first 10 to 15 seconds, like that's perfect. But I think right now you're starting here when I think it should be like here. So I think that's what I would guess Sam is alluding to. You show B-roll, but the actual conversations between you two, it's like you guys meet up right here, 21 seconds in. And I think it's maybe just cut out one of the clips that slows it down slightly is like the only thing.
Following list out on a date, and Diana was one of the girls that I asked out. At first, she didn't know my intentions, so I started being more bold, and let's just say I got initiated into a frat. However, she did give me a date, so maybe I could get out the...
I guess I'm a little confused between this segment, between initiated into a frat.
I was just trying to say, like, I got called a brother, but in like a funny way.
Oh, like
when you're in a frat, you get called brothers, right?
I couldn't even read this. It happened so fast.
It's like I didn't know how I could like zoom into it without zooming into the whole picture.
You could honestly just crop just you saying potentially, like question you saying potentially, because I don't think this celebrate your text matters, or you could just circle it in red or underline it in red. But I like this. I like the for the plot episode 1. That's sick. I think you could cut out. And at first she didn't know my intentions. I started being more bold. I think this part here just slows down the video, if I'm being honest. Like this segment here, I think it could be said slightly quicker. Because I think by second number 13, you could be like at the point where you guys have met up, and then the video progresses more.
I asked you out. You seem really against it.
I wanted to make sure you didn't.
I didn't like you? They gone wrong.
Wait, I really Kevin that you live in a minute? Kind of. That's the No. If you were to go there all
Okay. Niche fucking pull. Here's another hack. Right here, I think why it feels bare is because I don't know how it contributes to the bigger question of is the date going well or not well. So I think you should put captions at the top being like what's going through your head, being like trying to make small talk parentheses. You see this in sales call breakdown videos where they're like handling the objection, building rapport. It's like you could put that in parentheses to give me context as a viewer to be like, okay, that's what he's thinking in the moment.
I got you. I think I do something like that, but it's like for funny comedic purposes.
Whatever you want to put in there, honestly, because I do agree. It's like this part feels a little bit like, I don't think it's bad, but I think I'm confused. Me as a viewer is just like, oh, is it going well or not well? And I'm always like thinking about that question, I think, since the hook. It's like the classic curiosity, like, oh my gosh, like, are they getting along or not? That's just like my thoughts as a viewer.
I didn't record all of the freaking date, so like my B-rolls are limited in clips, you know? Put something rather than nothing.
I think this is good footage. I think just like text to supplement it. Overall, like conceptually, this is so interesting. And I think it's one thing to be like, I asked out 100 girls. It's another one to actually film a date, which is, couples content always, I think, goes so hard. So yeah, this is sick.
Would you like to watch the end? It's like, the store ended up closing, right? So I had to like debrief at my place instead of actual restaurant. I don't know if that's like off-putting.
Before I finished my food, the store ended up closing, so I took her back to my place for a little debriefing because I've been single my whole entire life. In order to give my first eventual girlfriend the relationship that she deserves, I feel like I have to be in more intimate settings like this so I can learn more about myself and how to treat others right. Which is why I started this series for the plot.
The date, it was like catching up with the bro.
Are there any tips that you would give me?
1, pick up the girl. 2, keep paying. 3, be genuine. I think what stands out about you is like your personality. Tips on the surface level.
Yo,
I think you should have like follow for part 2 or call to see me like level up or something, like the next try or something.
I like that call to action. I wasn't thinking.
Dude, I like that sentimental moment too. I would keep the music going because this is like this sentimental music here. I would just keep it until the end. It's a nice ending to the video.
All right, I got you.
Dude, overall, I mean, kudos on the video, man. This is like, I'm sure there's like a lot of effort put in here and I think that's amazing. I am cooked so bad at hooks. It's okay. We're gonna work on it today. Doing a series, pretty crazy, and I think it has viral potential, but I am flopping big time. TikTok did okay though, got 50K views. Nathan, if you want to give more context, actually.
Yeah, long story short, I'm doing a challenge like Mr. Beast style. I'm like literally locked in a room with like only protein powder, and I'm doing this until I basically lose enough weight and get 6 packs, or I'm gonna make 6,000 cash. I'm like day 6 in. Yeah, it's like I know it has viral potential, but I'm just really bad at making the content. And truthfully, it's not the priority because I'm actually just trying to lose weight and build my business right now as a top priority. But obviously, this is like kind of like an effort to do marketing, and I'd love to learn how to improve.
Is it tied with your business, the content?
Sort of. You know, like overall my account, like this account, I want to make it more about just like identity transformation. Like long story short, over the past few years, I tried like every weight loss thing in the world and like went up and down until I really figured out it's not really about like short-term discipline. It's more about like your identity change long-term. And now I'm in a good place and I kind of want to share that. But I haven't really shared about that message specifically. I was like, hey, let me just see if I can get eyeballs in on the challenge, and then I'll start sharing more of like the value. But maybe that's not the right way to think about it either.
Like you're thinking eyeballs first and value later?
Yeah. But I guess like it could make sense where I'm actually just like sharing the sauce or like, you know, what I've learned as well. In the meantime, it's just one thing that I was trying to do, because before when I posted, I would like do way too many different types of content pillars, and there was no one knew what I was talking about. And now like I just wanted to make every single post the same thing, so there's some consistency, so people like, oh, okay, this is the guy who's doing this. So that's kind of why I didn't scatter myself too much.
I think that's actually a great way to look at it. That's memorable. Locked in the room until you like just eating protein powders. Bro, I've never heard that. That's insane. Like that's awesome. Before I actually even look at it, one thought that comes to mind, I just want to like say this before, is I think the best way to execute, because you have a good idea. So now you're not bottlenecked by the idea, you're bottlenecked by the execution, is to just have one creator whose style you really want to mimic, and then piece together how they're doing it, because you're not going to copy their idea. It's like maybe you copy a challenge creator who's in the finance niche, you know, and they're doing like a finance challenge or something.
Just like take the same style of like hook pacing. Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Thanks for that.
Let's see.
I haven't left this room in 5 days, and I've only eaten protein ice cream because I told myself I'm not leaving until I either make $6,000 or get 6 packs. The good news is I have lost.
I think here, first off, is auto captions. Like this is like a personal bias to me, but auto captions in the videos, I think there's more efficient ways we can do it. There's templates on CapCut that you can use where it can do the auto captions for you, even if it's just one word at a time. That's at least, I think, would boost the retention. Another one is like, so this is like now my biased take on like how this could be executed. If you don't want to put the auto captions, or you don't want it to like heavy hyper edit, I don't think you need to. You could just do like myself, or it's like, actually, no, not even that. I cannot leave this room till I lose, what was the exact goal?
It's like 6 kilograms. I was just trying to play with the six pack, 6,000, but it's, yeah.
I'm only eating, I like the way you worded it to me, like.
Yeah, I really, that's like more viral. I was thinking if I literally just like, hey, I'm only eating protein ice creams for the next 2 weeks, like people would be like, what the fuck? Like that's a lot more catchy. It's like not the core essence of everything I'm doing, but for sure I can see that just being like the hook.
This is pretty, like literally just this. Like if I saw this on my feed, I'm literally like frame by frame, like this is how I would do it. Like if I was in your CapCut, this is how I would do it. And then, you know, blow this up a little bit, you know, got the little 6 kg, and then your spoken hook out of your mouth. This is hella weird visuals, but we'll run with it. I cannot leave this room till I lose 6 or make 6K with the business that you're running. And then maybe you could do like here, up here, it's like day X. That's what I could see here.
You're the chef for a reason. Okay, I appreciate this.
I think it's just like you need to give all the context as quickly as possible, because this is a sick idea. And if people can't see that in the first 3 seconds, it's a damn shame. So you got to make that clear the first 3 seconds.
All right, I'm going to lock in on content today. That'll be my focus.
Let's go. Yo, W concept, bro. This is sick. All right. Next question's from Dan. You'd love a review. Maybe your hook is too slow to start. Let's see. If there's anything else you want me to keep in mind, like with the video?
No, not really. I'm just trying to take a bit of a break, and I'm just getting back into content, trying to make videos to promote my marketing agency.
Awesome. Let's do it.
If you're just getting started making videos for your business, there's a good chance you're killing them before you even start talking. And that's because of the millennial pause. Now, when you hear that phrase, you're either thinking,
Okay. Quick thought here with text hooks. Because I think if there's one thing that you can do to instantly lift, it's any slight improvements to the text hook right here. I think you could do the double text hook. I think Gabriel had a really good example from earlier where it's like text hook with the parentheses hook, like under it. Because this is a more niche video.
Yep. Okay. So what would be example like? So this 1 second mistake kills your videos, and like in brackets before you even start, or like
One thing that Gabriel did is he put social proof. It's a title hook and then authority. So like Harvard. So we have the title hook here. It's like this 1 second mistake kills your videos. I think this is strong. I think if you want to give more context here, then it's like, what's an authority parentheses you could put? Like one thought that comes to my mind.
yeah, gotcha.
So like one easy example in my mind is like the borrowed authority, right? Even like this is also like borrowed authority, Harvard. So for you, it could be like Mr. Beast's like golden rule.
Yep.
It's an easy lift. Other than that, I actually think editing wise, it's like solid. The videos pacing is actually good, I think, like spoken wise.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All right, awesome, dude.
Now hold on, if you've been finding this advice super helpful and you want to get your personal brand personally reviewed and coached by me alongside 3 other coaches on 5 of these weekly sessions every single week so you can improve your videos on Instagram and TikTok as quickly as possible, I'm going to leave a link to apply to join this paid community in the first link in the description. And on to the next advice.
Gabriel, dude, welcome to Content Academy. You'd love any perspective on these questions. They tend to stagnate at or below 100K views. What components am I missing to break past 100K? 2, visual hook feels weak to me. How can I improve that? Or verbal hook to make the beginning more engaging. 3, generally speaking, these videos perform best by far, but they aren't the core to what you want to do long term. Quick question here, Gabe. What is your long-term goal? Because I think that would help. You can feel free to unmute as well to give context.
Yeah, thanks. It is new for me here, but it's been great so far, so I appreciate it. Long term for me, the videos like that I've posted like this that have performed the best tended to be almost like I was relaying information that was educational and from research and just happened to be popular on current topics. But I'd like to kind of like demonstrate firsthand, either through experiences of my own or by sharing experiences of other people, kind of like demonstrations of the things that I'm talking about. So like this one is just relaying information about Harvard's 4 emotional profiles, but I get a lot more amped up about creating content that's like, yeah, everybody tells you should be going after your goals and here's exactly how to do it, either with me as an example or somebody else.
I was going to say, I think this does represent what you're talking about well. It's like depression makes the best artists, talking about becoming, I guess, the best artist possible. So I do think it does serve that purpose, at least somewhat. Why depression makes the best artists. So the first question though, with plateauing at around like 100K, how do you break past that plateau? Let me actually watch it with audio.
What if I told you that if you're a happy person, there's a high likelihood you'd be a bad boss? Research coming out of Harvard indicates that all human beings fall into one of 4.
I think at this point, we're talking about micro optimization. So you already have like the fundamental, which is a really good hook, really good idea, and like good speaking on camera. So like those things, which are like the necessary, those are like 80-20, I would say, the 80% that makes a good video. So it's like, that's there. So what I'm telling here is going to be pure nitpicking, but it could help like get it to the next level. I think one thing is depth on camera. It's like when I see a lot of the best talking head, they have depth of background behind them. So like, this is just like a small thing I've noticed on my own account. Outdoor videos seem to do well, and outdoor videos as well or if I'm indoors, it's like the wall is not right behind me. I don't know what it is subconsciously, but it can make a video feel flatter, and it's like a subtle thing. But I think also it makes you blend in a little bit with your background, and it's like monkey brain, high contrast visuals capture the eyeballs like slightly hard. I'm talking like 10%. So that's like maybe a tiny incremental lift. I like the text hook, by the way. I think the double text hook is fire.
What if I told you that if you're a happy person, there's a high likelihood you'd be a bad boss? Research coming out of Harvard indicates that all human beings fall into one of 4 emotional profiles. These profiles are determined by a term called affect, which is essentially emotional intensity, be that positive or negative. First, if you feel both...
Okay, this at this point is probably going to be like kind of a subjective take. I've heard this concept for YouTube. It's like, does your visual presentation match the personality that you're trying to essentially portray on social media? So it's like, what's the outcome that you want to get people in your content?
I think if I could get people that were interested in kind of like following along and being interested in like learning through the self-improvement stuff, that's kind of what I was trying to convert off of these types of videos. And this was almost more of like a backing for like, if I create other types of videos and it's like some of them are like study marathons and stuff like this, I want to say like, okay, here's some credibility for it. Like, here's where I'm getting the study habits that I talk about in my other videos when I'm demonstrating it. So I'm not just like a random person.
Gotcha. Do you know the guy who does 75 hard and cold plunge every day?
Is it the guy who eats like 1 million mandarins?
Yes.
Yeah. I got you.
I think that's like a vibe that I get. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe it's like the running clothes. It's like, oh, like that dude I know is like a runner. That's like an example of like you're combining all of a really solid hook that is a really coherent point that hits really hard with another winning format, which is like cold plunges, which is like a very visual hook, a very visually captivating thing. And maybe it's not that, but it's like, I know he films them in the morning. So that aesthetic feels a little bit more emotional and has like that depth to it. And I think that creates this holistic personality and vibe that then makes it like, oh wow, like this person's really about it in a sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, cause once again, this is not like the biggest needle mover in the world, but it could, like, maybe there's some ideas here, because I don't think there's like a right or wrong answer here. But I think of like self-improvement creators like this guy Hamza. His like best videos were in like a red LED light room. And he was like in a bathrobe, and he just repeated that visual. So it was ingrained in them as like his aesthetic, which matched the, I guess, like self-improvement bro aesthetic. And then like one other example is like this guy. He always films outdoors in like a really, I guess, like naturey setting, which like these are examples of background creating a vibe, which like overall could be a little bit more immersive. It's like small things like that could add up.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. I appreciate it because I was getting kind of stuck on it. Like I could move back and forth, and I noticed it was so weird. If anyone else is doing like the self-improvement or kind of educational stuff, the subtext hook almost had more of an impact for my videos than like the main one. So I could kind of get those, but yeah, I appreciate it because the visual hook was really where I was getting stuck. And I think everything you're saying makes sense.
The thing is, the topics that you're covering are also, I would say, like more complex or sophisticated. Like Harvard's 4 emotional profiles. That's such a niche topic that I think the brain rot side of me feels like it's not getting catered for, and it's like, the brain rot side of me just sees like, wow, like he's in nature. He must be like hella intellectual. And that's it. It's just like raw subconscious. But yeah, I think you get the vibe. This is fire though overall, dude. This is sick, man. And dude, 100K views is no joke, bro. That's awesome.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the input. And I got this format down. I'm really working on some series content now. So I'll probably be back in the next few weeks for a lot of reviews on series because I'm pretty bad at those. So I really appreciate it.
That's fire. I think matching this with a series too, like the Dane, it's like the 75 hard, but then he gives a lesson every day. It's this type of format, but then matched with the series. I think it's awesome.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm going to try and do that because I was starting a marathon series next. The problem I had is anytime I broke away from this format where there's a question at the beginning and then there's some sort of eye-catching college name like Harvard and Stanford and then a University of Singapore one, all tended to really pull in views. I don't know. I got to figure out a way to try and like transition from that into the series, I think is what you're saying.
Yeah, because this is a really good format. And it's like, I would not just like let go of it either because I think you're onto something really good here.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Yvonne, would love some advice on this video. Reply to the message with the stats too. It did decent on shorts with 30K views, but flopped on IG. Let's see. I bet.
Grow the fuck up. That's what my best friend said to me after I ruined his birthday. 6 months ago, I was in charge of planning my best friend's surprise birthday party. But I was so stressed trying to coordinate that I waited to the last minute. I ended up with zero plan, and right as they pulled up, I had to cancel the whole night. But when my best friend said that, I got so defensive. Screw you, dude. I was so busy and stressed, you just don't get it. Damn, why didn't I say that? But then I remember, this isn't the first time I've done something like this. Someone hit my car in 2024. Personally, it doesn't bother me. But my dad calls me daily losing sleep about it. Every time I promise I'll fix it, but every time we both know I'm lying. I realize that whenever I procrastinate, someone else pays the price too. My friend lost his birthday and my dad's losing a hair. So maybe
I think it's interesting that you bring up the YouTube Shorts thing. I'm trying to think if there's like a difference here that would cause it to do well on Shorts but not on IG. Like sometimes it genuinely happens.
Yeah, it's definitely weird because like my last 2 videos, they both did around the same on Instagram, but like they both got around 30K on YouTube. But they got like 8 to 9K on Instagram. So that's why it's like I'm not really sure like how much, like what the issue is, you know? Yeah.
If I were to guess, and this is like, I think at this point it's more of grain of salt theory of mine. I think this feels like the effects feel like higher touch. And when I think of YouTube Shorts, I think of there's more going on the screen. Whereas when I think of Instagram Reels, like the cinematic stuff on Instagram Reels, it's almost like there's not as much going on the screen, and they're really indexing for just like really pretty shots. Like the shots themselves, like it's like crazy camera, there's like high contrast in the lighting, versus YouTube Shorts, it's like cool effects, and it's like a very minute thing. And if like TikTok is like completely different, it's just like no edits, you know, a lot of the times.
Yeah, TikTok, this shit all flops. Yeah.
That happens, dude. Yeah.
But like I made a video, like 2 videos before this, it did pretty well. Like it has like I think 340K now, and it's like still pretty similar. But the content of the video is like very different. It's like about like racism. So I guess like that also creates like some stimulus for people. But yeah, just kind of just wanted to get your advice on like the general like, storytelling or like the hook, and like if this kind of content can convert to like a meaningful amount of followers, and if it can, like how can I really like optimize for that? Because I don't necessarily want to do like pure educational, pure tutorials and like pure value in that sense. Like I want the value to be driven from me, like about my own story, like myself, so they care about me and then they can relate to me too. But I just finding it hard to find that balance, because like my video that did 300K, I only got like 600 followers from that, you know, so that conversion is not that great, even though I thought that the fact that like it was high quality, it was scripted, I thought pretty well, all that stuff would cause a higher conversion to followers, but it didn't really. So I guess that kind of proved like my theory wrong.
I'll answer this for conversion. First off, I think this is a sick format. I think this is more just personal opinion. I think this is good and I would keep it up. I think these are really well made. And just like my subjective opinion is I think these are like, I think your use of effects is also super unique and the shots are very well done. Like I see that as a strength. I think this is awesome. I would say in terms of follower conversion, what causes more people to follow or less people to follow? And you want people to follow for your personal stories. And I think this video is great. It's like a personal story. When it comes to educational content, people usually follow when they perceive that you're giving direct, applicable advice. So the more applicable and practically actionable the advice is in the video, like the more likely they will follow. So like the furthest example of this is like if a video that was about content advice, said comment for XYZ guides, and then it just had like a 100-page PDF. That's like, okay, wow, it's so densely packed with value. So they've really value maxed that. When it comes to personal, my theory behind that, it's like what causes more people to follow or less people to follow. I think it's more so like with the story, how deeply do they resonate to you? I guess to quantify that, I'll speak for myself. The videos that have converted best have been the most vulnerable. And my theory on that is that the more vulnerable things, I guess they have more of a moat, because not only are they unique stories to me, but also they're unique stories that are also difficult to tell. So the likelihood that someone else would tell a similar story is lower. And I'm guessing too, with vulnerable stories, there's also a deeper like emotional component to it. But I think this does well. So I wouldn't say this lacks that. I actually think this does great at that. That's just like a general rule of thumb that I have in mind. The deeper the story, the harder the emotional impact of the story. And then if there's ways you can make it more unique that you don't think other people would be able to tell the same story. Because if you saw the same style of content 10 times in a row on your feed, you wouldn't follow one or the other more than, it's just like, oh yeah, this is my feed. You don't think, wow, this creator themselves, I need to specifically see them again, as opposed to the last 9 people. How do you make it so that your stories have that level of moat versus the other creators? I think your visuals have that. And this is also like, I don't think there's an answer that I can give where it's like, you should really target this. I think I would have to like know your story, but that's just like a principle that I like to think about. What is it that you can do that other people cannot replicate story-wise? Or what are things in your life that I guess are more unique?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, the video that did really well, it was about like me being half Indian, half Latin and growing up in India, and like people were being racist around me because I don't look the most Indian, I don't sound the most Indian. So that video did particularly well because I think it's like a clashing, to what people's expectations are. But then I'm a little worried that like I'm only going to be known as the half Indian guy that doesn't know any Indian languages and like all that stuff if I just keep milking that. But I guess like momentum's hard to come by, so I might as well just like keep riding the wave if I can,
I also think when it comes to conversion, you touch upon a good point there. The riches are in the niches, and this is not just from a business perspective. It's also from if your personal brand is a business and like them following is kind of them like paying and becoming like a paying customer or subscriber, then the more niche of a story like that, for example, no one else, like I would guess almost no one else here could tell that, and that's a sign that because it's so unique, more people would feel directly resonant to you and you only. So I think that's a good sign, and like it doesn't have to be just that, but what are other ways you can like test that and find more elements?
Yeah, awesome. All right, thanks, Bino. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Raymond, how do you find content that resonates with your niche? You've been saving a ton of videos on your Explore page, but they don't seem to have a lot of storytelling, or maybe you're just not understanding why these videos are performing so well without storytelling. If you're here, what niche are you in and what type of content are you trying to make?
So I'm in self-improvement and lifestyle, and I created a recent like video that did like 3K views. It was a really well scripted video, I would say, but obviously it didn't like resonate well enough. And I'm kind of stuck in this place where I'm seeing all these lifestyle and self-improvement content creators kind of talk about like, here's 5 different ways to do this. But there's not like storytelling involved with that. And maybe I'm like a one-trick pony and I just don't understand how to get out of this one-trick pony phase of just pure storytelling. First, it was kind of like this. Sorry, I know I'm going in circles, but it was kind of like I went through this and I learned this and this, but then they're like, recently I went through something like this, but here are 5 different ways for me to figure this out. And they would show like B-rolls and stuff. And I'm just trying to find ways to like incorporate more of that into my content, because the storytelling stuff that I did, dude, it took like 3 days just to post, bro. It kind of sucked, man.
Gotcha. So I'm guessing the storytelling, you said like you feel like you're stuck in one trick pony with you're stuck one tricking the storytelling, but you want to learn how to do more like the list style.
Kind of like you know, you like do experimentation stuff, like, is it possible to do this within this certain amount of time? Here are 5 different ways I figured out how to dress better for Asian dudes or whatever. Here are five ways to unchop yourself, stuff like that, And I'm just like, how is storytelling involved in those things? Because maybe I like took it way too far in this course, like the storytelling aspect, and stopped kind of like trying to help people, So
I mean, I don't think there's a one right way to do it. And I also think instead of using the word storytelling, like I would say it's just like scripting. Because storytelling is, I would say, like, you're telling a story about your life. But then if I were to make a video explaining the 3-step method to write hooks, I don't really need to storytell. I just need to explain my point and be logical and then explain the 1, 2, 3. So it's a different format, I would say. Like, and then a challenge is different too. A challenge is more like I relay the premise, I show me going through it, and then I give the payoff at the end of yes or no, did we win or not win?
Okay.
So that's the general framework, but...
I was just saying, so like, basically, I should still be talking about like self-improvement and lifestyle things, but every time I should be able to experiment with different formats, but stay within the same niche. Correct.
I will say, I think the best creators are the ones who've been able to hit really good targeting, have found one format that works, and they just do it. So it's like, here's kind of the steps. And I think this is what I refer to in the course. You try out these 3, and there's a couple more formats. Like you could include a vlog as well, right? That's also a format. You try them out, and then you pick apart what does well. So in terms of like the views, and then also what you enjoy, kind of like an Ikigai framework of like, you could stumble across a format that you are really good at, but you might just not like it, and that's fine too. So figure out what you like and what does well. And then like, I would say then you start to like eliminate the other ones and really just go hard on just like whichever one is working really well for you.
Okay, cool. So when I go on like Instagram and onto the Explore page, just start saving the videos that are like storytelling, lifestyle, educational, challenges, vlogs, and just try to like create a ton of them to see which one works better and which one I like more, and basically double down on whatever one works. And as like a beginner page, since I just started, I should be okay to experiment with all of these different things without seeing some sort of negative like effect on my account, performance, things like that.
Yeah. Like how many videos in are you?
Probably like 9, bro.
Oh, dude, wait, that's sick. And you said you got 3K views?
Yeah, only on one video though.
Dude, that's fire, man. That's actually fire. Yeah, I would say right now. So if I were to give general, and these are not, in no way is this like objective truth, depends. But I like to think of it this way. First 30 videos, data collection. You're figuring out what does well, what do you like, right? And also it's just getting the reps in. And then past 30 videos, I would say try to do this process where you look back and you're just like, what did well? What did I like? And then also just like, what did not do well and what did I not like? It's like a broken heart emoji. You figure that out, and then you kind of that by process, it's like maybe, dude, I fucking hate vlogs. Like, okay, well, we're not gonna do that. The storytelling takes me like 10 years, and honestly, it's like not that like great for me. So let's like take that out. Or maybe the storytelling's good, so it's like, okay, maybe it has one of the two. So maybe we could figure out how to make it more enjoyable and more sustainable. But like the lists, I don't really like resonate. And then, like maybe it's like 1 or 2, but the goal is just to not feel like you're trying everything past 30 videos or like for the long term. to make it simpler on yourself, because juggling a bunch of different formats, it's like jack of many trades, but then it's like harder to master one, you know?
Right, right.
And then in terms of the niche, I will say this is like a blanket statement, but I think the general niche of quote unquote self-improvement, I think a lot of us here are in general self-improvement. Like actually, like honestly,
right.
Drop a W in the chat if you're in self-improvement. Like I would say I have it all. Like it's a very common niche. And the reason why is not because it's like, oh, it's oversaturated. It's just because I think there's so many forms of self-improvement. Like you could argue that Nathan's video from earlier about the protein powder, that's self-improvement. And then Yvonne, storytelling, self-improvement as well. Even Mohit as well, right? Giving like an introspective take from his life, also self-improvement. It's like there's many different forms. So one question I would also ask yourself is like, is there any other words or niches that you could use to describe that might be slightly more specific? Like within self-improvement, maybe like fitness or business or relationships.
Yeah, I think that's something I'm gonna really have to dig deep down, because there's like so much that I like about self-improvement. But you're all right. It's pretty broad, man. And I guess it's just like finding what I'm good at naturally, right? What I do the most on an everyday basis, perhaps.
And I will say, do not be afraid to like feel like you're oversimplifying your life, because I started off my page as a general broad self-improvement page. Like I actually was talking about like my dating life and like my fitness journey as well. I would talk about trying to get leaner and like lower body fat percentages as well. Now I don't talk about that. Like I would say most of my exponential growth on the page came from when I really niched down into business, turned it into a series, and then just repeated that over and over and over. And that can come later. I would say like I used my business series of Road to 100K a month as a medium of documenting self-improvement. But at the core, it still is self-improvement, but now we're just using business as a medium to like show that, or fitness as a medium to show that.
Okay, cool. I'll definitely do like an ikigai or something to figure out what my North Star is within self-improvement, you know? I think that would help out a lot.
100% though, dude, honestly, if there's any thought I want to leave you on, it's like, dude, you're 9 videos in, treat this as a testing phase, and I think you're making all the right moves. So like, just keep at it, dude.
Cool. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, Mino.
Of course. Nelson, you're excited to start this journey. How do you structure your page when you have multiple things happening? Restaurant, real estate portfolio, an exciting high earning 9-to-5, kind of lost where to take your content. I'm on day 5 of the content course. I didn't do a challenge yet, but I'm not sure which challenge to do. Long term, I want to share learnings of building, lifestyle, motivational. Okay. It's both, I think, a blessing and a curse to have a lot of stuff to talk about. That's a strength. I see you on the call. So if you have any more, I guess, like thoughts that would help with this.
Yeah, I like videos around self-improvement, motivation. I've heard, I've listened to this call. Yeah, you just talked about self-improvement and everybody's doing it, but I need a particular niche. And I just find it so tricky because it's quite a mouthful whenever I talk. Oh yes, I have a blah, 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 but I have a 9-to-5, but then I've got this, I've got this. So I find it quite hard. I don't know what to talk about, to be honest.
I think in that frame of like, sometimes maybe instead of thinking about just which niche to target, because it's like you could target the real estate, or you could target the 9-to-5, or you talk about like just the restaurant. And it's like we've seen a lot of creators who just nail down one. For example, Rajan, right? He used to run a sneaker business. He's obviously like super in the whole like personal branding space as well. But at the end of the day, his whole thing is just his property, his Airbnb. And it focuses just around that because when it's really simple and easy to follow along to, it's a lot easier for followers to then, a complete stranger to easily feel like they can be immersed in the world. So it's like 80-20. 80% of the videos are documenting the main arc. 20% are like quote unquote filler episodes that talk more about like, this is like a younger self kind of deep introspective storytelling video. End state, that's like where you want to get to, I'd say. Like you choose kind of one main style. If there's other side interests, treat it more like a 20% filler, but you don't have to feel like you just like choose it now and then that's an irreversible choice. I think that's something that like testing helps you figure out. I think one framework then to like figure this out is rather than which one of these topics do you want to just cover, it's like, what do you want to do with your content? What do you want to do with your personal brand? Like, what is the goal for you?
Want to be an authoritative figure on like motivation, and then also find a way to monetize that in the future as another revenue stream, income stream?
I would say just right off the bat, the format that generally achieves that is like motivational authority is usually talking head and some form of either like advice or like how-to stuff. So I don't think you would need to, let's say, like turn it into a challenge, for example. Like I guess like this, like how to be dangerously confident. I guess, was there another question with like figuring out where to take the content?
I guess I should do, I don't necessarily have to do a challenge, but more talking head. Also, I don't know if it's a mindset thing or I don't feel like sometimes, like I'm not like super successful, you know, so I also find it like quite hard to be an authority when I speak about some of these things like I have done in some of my videos. I mean, that's where I want to go. And that's like content I like consuming, and that's the content I do eventually want to put out.
I guess if you don't feel like you have the place of authority yet, this is, I'll tell like an anecdote from me, because I felt the same way going into content, and my solution is just show every day getting towards a goal that I think is like worthy of being talked about. Just make it about me like pushing forward towards it every day, which then can be like very relatable as well. But it's like maybe not every video is going to blow up because it's like, you know, at the end of the day, like I was just documenting me being like a college student. So there's inherently like not some crazy mode around that, but I was able to build, I would say, an audience of people who were relating to those life moments over time.
I think that makes sense.
Sorry, I wish I could honestly answer the question better, but I do think a lot of these would probably be just like you post, figure it out and learn. And I'm guessing like, cause you just got into Content Academy, like I think a lot of these would probably also just come as you experiment more.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'll keep going. Thank you. Thanks, Mina.
All right, awesome. Let's see. Next one from Jordan, one of our content games winners. Let's fucking go. I see you're in the car here. Fabuloso commented on the video first time. Let's fucking go. What's something that did well and something to improve upon the next one? Yo, you got the fabulous. Dude, that's a fire like brand deal. Dude, like I wonder if there's like a brand deal opportunity there. Just like side note, but when like a physical product brand hits you up in the comment section, that's like an easy like slide in and work some kind of like collab there. So that's fucking sick. Yeah, if you're in the car, I guess I'll just give like quick thoughts here. So what's one thing that did well from the video and one thing that did not? Let's see.
My fiance gets home from work in less than 1 hour and our apartment looks like this. Yikes. So let's deep clean it together and surprise her. Alexa, play Suave.
Quick thoughts. Hook was fire. Like the surprise. It's so quick, but it's such a pattern interrupt, and it comes in and goes, so it's like doesn't delay on the screen for so long. I like that as a visual hook, first off. Second thought is, I think one thing in terms of an improvement, I didn't really like, I guess it's a cluttered visual. And I'm not the biggest fan of cluttered visuals. They're kind of small and there's a lot going on the screen. So it's like right here, I think it could have done well if you actually just put them as B-roll clips as opposed to picture them on the screen, because I think that would make me feel the dirtiness of the apartment slightly more. I feel like there's a way to make it feel way more gross, essentially. Maybe dragging on the visuals a little bit, using B-roll clips and taking up the full screen of it. But that's a very small tweak. And I think overall, this is really solid. I also love the different camera angles. I think that's fucking sick and really unique. And I would stick with that. Because I think in a lot of like these vlog style at home content, people will just be talking from one angle, but switching up the angle. Like I like the microwave angle. I think I saw there. It's like these unique angles, I would do them. Yeah, like I like that. I like that. That's fire. Destroy dirt. Wiping. Yeah, this is really tough, dude. I love this angle. I don't know what it is. It seems so unique.
Bet, bro. Appreciate it. So, in terms of like reaching out and from that comment, like, what are some tips? Because I've been talking to Diego, and he's been talking to me a bit too. But like from your perspective too, what are your thoughts?
In terms of probably like developing a relationship with a brand and then working with them, right?
Yeah.
I would say like try to hop on a call.
How do you slay their DMs?
If I were to give like a very simple outreach template, it's let me just like put it in the comments. I won't actually comment this, but it's like, yo, like just saw like your comment, like compliment the brand, like specific compliment to the brand, like kind of signals that out of all brand deals you would put in more effort because you like them. It's like brands don't want to work with a creator who just like, yo, I'm just in it for the money. So really signal value, right? You're kind of pitching them, like you're kind of soft selling them. And then do not ask for something. Just be like, would love to chat with sometime like about like how we could potentially work together. Like a very easy, like low commitment thing. Cause I think it's like, hey, like, do you guys do brand deals? I would love to do, you know, the obvious worst thing I think would be like, hey, hi, my rates are this. Like, do you want to like pay me? You know, it's like, there's no value that then they can perceive. What I've heard from brand managers is that they love when the creator themselves actually feels like they're putting in a lot of effort and they really care about doing a good job. That's actually very rare. And if you can establish that relationship of like, yo, like I'd love to like just chat with like whoever on the phone, like that's another great way because then that's easier to negotiate. Because emails you can ghost each other, you forget, but on a call, like you can really show how much you like, you know, want to work with them.
All right, that makes sense. And last question, like in the terms of a brand actually commenting on your post, is there something specific that happens, like it's a certain quality or reaches a certain metric, or do they usually do that for like all of them that they get tagged in?
I'm glad you asked. So this is for anybody who wants to do brand deals with like specific, I guess like physical product brands, right? But this applies for any kind of brand. If you think about who runs the pages for the brands, it's the brand managers. And what are they doing on the brand page? They're scrolling the For You page looking for creators to outreach to for like social media marketing, right? So essentially your content kind of becomes a funnel for brands. The brand needs to be able to see themselves in a video. So what did you literally do? Like you showed a bunch of physical product, like this one, like a vacuum cleaner could easily see this and be like, oh shoot, I want to be integrated with you guys. Actually using physical products is a great way to obviously like signal to brands, hey, like this is a creator worth working with. So like another creator I know named Armand, he actually did like a guest speaking call before regarding like how to do brand deals. Cause he's done like 5-figure brand deals. He's fucking cracked at brand deals and negotiating. And something he says is that he does a lot of things like cleaning videos. He's done videos where he did a video where he was doing makeup in the car. So he can do a makeup or cosmetics brand deal because those people will see that. Those accounts will see that. Or if they're looking to be like, like, should we work with this person or not? And then they see videos where they could easily see themselves integrated with you. That's a really good sign. So like if you want to attract, let's say a different ICP or like ideal brand persona, like a app or software company, then make videos reviewing software, like tier lists of software, or like here are the top 5 tools I use for like XYZ. That's another one. Or like, let me think, like finance creators are like, oh, you like my favorite credit cards, right? It's essentially kind of like doing a brand deal without getting paid. And if you can get those videos to do well, it's an easy way to just, you know, attract brands like moths to a flame.
Great, bro. Thank you. I appreciate the help.
Yes, sir, dude. Dude, that's awesome that you had a brand like see that and comment, dude. That's actually very rare. And, you know, I think that's a great sign. Like that's awesome.
Yes, sir. Shout out Content Academy.
Let's go. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching all of the advice that we gave the creators. I've been doing this for the past 2 years and I realized I've never actually shown any of like the work that I do. Let me know genuinely if you found this helpful or specifically what questions that you'd want to have answered in future videos. And I'll try to make more videos around that. If you don't know who I am now, I've grown 3 accounts on TikTok to over 150K followers. My Instagram's at like 520. I've been posting content on TikTok and Instagram for the past 6 years. So I've broken it down to a science. Now I just want to make these videos to help you out in your personal brand growth journey so you can actually make this a career. That is my full-time passion now as a 22-year-old. I dropped out of fucking college to run this business. And if you want to be a part of this community as well, we don't just do these coaching sessions. I also have a bunch of video modules and guides on how I personally make my videos, as well as we send out a ton of monetary opportunities for smaller creators to get started in their earning journey to make this a full-time fucking career, baby. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.